Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. It's been a while since I've seen all of you. Welcome to a special Monday evening edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off. Yeah, there is some stuff that happened over the weekend. So let's not talk about that stuff. Let's talk about what happened all during last week, genre news wise, all that kind of stuff. Before I get into it, let me take care of some business and then we'll get into it. How about that? If you like what you see, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look over here. There's going to be a video at the very end of this video. And if you like that, hit the subscribe button. Also, what's going to be up here is going to be Stargirl, is what's going to be up here at the same time as that there. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com and, take a look at the weekly schedule that I post up there. Sometimes I post it late on Mondays, but sometimes it does, come on time. I also post that same schedule on my Facebook page. And speaking of Facebook, there's a Facebook group page which you guys can join, post stuff, and chat amongst yourselves. Also on suspendedfanimation.com, I've got the links to all my social media, so Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon, but no tier set up as of yet. There we go. Hey, Filthy. Long time no see. So, yeah, I am everywhere yet nowhere. All right, let's get into this, shall we? So the big news of the week, there's actually a couple big stories last week. Ruby Rose quits Batwoman after one season because she didn't realize how long the hours were. I guess she didn't like the long hours. So supposedly this was a mutual decision, a quote unquote mutual decision between her and production. So she didn't like the long hours, and as a result, made life miserable for people in the production. And as a result, either quit or got fired. One of the two. They said it was a mutual decision. My guess is it was 50-50, quite honestly, that was going on there. And that's the best thing I could say that happened to the series, is she was the albatross around this series' neck that was just dragging it down. Never, ever, ever hire a model just because they look the part. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work out. So as a result, to fill this vacuum now, they are going to recast, of course. There's been two contenders so far that have popped up to the top saying that they want the spot, and that is Jade Taylor from The Magicians. Yeah, I wasn't impressed with what I saw of her on The Magicians to begin with. And but the other one is Stephanie Beatriz from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and she has expressed interest and said she's already dyed her hair red, which isn't a prerequisite because Kate Kane actually wears a red wig. So yeah, did she look the part for this? Did Ruby Rose look the part? Not really. It was just that she was kind of a lesbian. And so this is the other thing too, is that fans of Batwoman were saying that Ruby Rose wasn't Jewish, and since the character is actually Jewish as well, and wasn't enough of a lesbian in order to play Kate Kane. For fuck's sake, people, it's called acting for a reason. Okay, you don't need to tick off all the boxes on all this stuff for people to actually play a part. You really don't. That's what acting is all about. Honestly, I'd like to see Stephanie Beatriz pop into this role. I know she was up for She-Hulk at one point, or actually it was rumored that she was. I don't know if she really was or not, but yeah. Filthy News says all she wanted to do was sleep with every woman on the show. Kate Kane, yeah, she did sleep around quite a bit on that show. I popped in and out of that show because it was just Alice, the woman who plays Alice on that show, is awesome. And I didn't realize that she was actually the young girl on Birds of Prey, the 90s series Birds of Prey. She was actually the regular, the 16-year-old girl in that show. And I was like, holy shit, because I saw something on DC Universe about this, and I was like, and they interviewed her, and I was like, holy shit, she is. But that's a different story altogether. I don't watch that show, guys. Sorry. I know you guys think I watch every single DC show. CW show Known to Mankind, I don't. I still have, I have to budget my time. And Batwoman was actually kicked off the schedule a long time ago. Yeah. Yeah, the one who plays Alice is really, really good. She actually shines. She is like a female Joker. They kind of neutered her near the end of the season by putting her in Arkham. That's not a spoiler at all. But then it comes out strong as to what she was doing. But yeah, there's a couple of Joker-esque plots that they actually were using for that, for Batwoman, which, yeah, that's all I can say. So yeah, so those are the two. Jade Taylor and Stephanie Beatriz are both, saying that they want the role. I would like Stephanie a lot better than Jade, because Jade just, she, like I said, she really does not wow me at all in her acting. The Magicians, honestly, is not my cup of tea. I've tried watching it because it was on before Happy, and I think it was on before Deadly Class. And both times I just put the mute on at that point, because it was just like, yeah, this show sucks. I'm sorry if you're a fan of it, but yeah, I think it's over with now, right? Or something like that. Penn says I'd rather go back and rewatch Birds of Prey. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah. Joker says it sounds like that Sean Young stuff from back. Well, quite honestly, you have a bunch of actors and actresses that act like prima donnas on any set, and some are better than others, and some are not. And yeah, she did not realize what it was going to take in order to play this role, the physical demands of it, as well as the long hours. Because, and then also, I believe being in Vancouver, which I think was away from her home base, whatever her home base is, and isn't it Australia or something like that? And so she, again, there was all these things that were stacking up, and then she was making everyone's life miserable as a result of that. At least that's what an article was saying. So there we go. So the other big thing of the news of the week was that the Snyder cut of Justice League is finally going to see the light of day in 2021 on HBO Max. So HBO Max, the WB execs are throwing 20 to 30 million dollars at Zack Snyder's face. Basically said, finish it up, whatever you can do, and throw it out there so we can shut these motherfuckers up that keep saying, release the Snyder cut, release the Snyder cut. Honestly, I don't need to see it. It's not going to be any better, quite honestly, unless you get Ezra Miller completely removed from that movie. I don't know how you're going to do it, but yeah. Filthy, the Flash was the best part of the Arrowverse until he became another version of Oliver Queen, and broods and whines, and yeah. I'll say this right now, Filthy, the mirror thing that's going on right now should have been wrapped up about 5 episodes ago. That's how long this shit is taking. And you don't need to, honestly, something that can go 1, maybe 2 episodes is taking now half a season. And half a season of a 23 episode season is not good. Come up with some more stories, man. That's all I'm going to say. Or shorten your fucking seasons to 13 episodes. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing, Filthy, is that the Snyder cut is probably going to be like, I don't know, 3-4 hours. Who knows? Yeah. So, but as a result of all of this, as a result of the squeaky wheel getting the grease, there are now new demands for the Ayers cut of Suicide Squad. I shit you not. This is actually happening. And also a Make Solo 2 Happen campaign. So talk about 2 shitty movies that no one ever wants to see the light of day ever again. Honestly, no one wants to see the Ayers cut of Suicide Squad. We really don't. And really nobody wants to see Solo 2. That first Han Solo movie, I don't even call it Han Solo. I don't know what that was. That was that was a waste of my money, is what it was. It was a fucking waste of my money, is what it was. And I went and saw that in bargain matinee. I think I might have paid $8 for it, and I still felt that I paid $18 way too much for that movie. Uh, yes, what? That's exactly it. So this is what happens when corporations give in to a small vocal minority of fanboys that want to have, whatever shitty movie remade, released, or redone, or whatever. Is you start getting all of these little, you know, fuckers that say, "Oh yeah, let's make a Shrek 19. Oh no, let's redo The Room. I'm gonna have Tommy Wiseau's 16-hour version of The Room. That's what we want on HBO Max next." No, you don't fucking need that. That's what Laserdiscs were for. Exactly, Keith Hamilton. Laserdisc had special extended director's cuts. The special extended director's cut of Bloodshot for Dentist Review. Thanks, Keith. Yeah, that fucking thing is like an albatross around my neck. I see it every now and then pop up in my Amazon feed. And I'm like, fuck. Got to remind me that I have that now there. Yeah. Yeah. Bloodshot was horrible. It was very, very bad. So yeah, that's what's coming because of the Snyder cut coming to HBO Max. And speaking of HBO Max, that is coming out in 2 days. That is going to premiere, I guess you could say, in 2 days. And also, what's going to premiere, excuse me, let me take a drink here. They have a new Looney Tunes cartoon series, which they've released the first 3 episodes on YouTube for free for people to watch and take a look at and whatnot. But that actually is released the day that HBO Max comes out, which is, of course, the 27th here. So The Room is 3D. Tommy Wiseau, yes, and I can't do Tommy Wiseau. I just can't. It's horribly bad, man. I tried watching The Room. I think I might have gotten 15 minutes into it, and I was like, I can't fucking watch this. This is bad. This is really bad. Yeah. Oh yeah, the final yeah, Agents of Shield. Well, actually, you should say the second half of the 6th season is now going to play on because that's what it really was, Filthy, is it was actually season 6 and it was cut in half. So they paid for one season is what well, it was Disney actually that paid for the one season. And ABC was like, screw this. We're not putting this on our schedule as is. We're going to throw it on summer and we're going to cut it in half. Even though they're calling it season 7, it's really not season 7. It's the second half of season 6. And everyone knows this who has been following it, quite honestly. Yes, it's going back in time and they're going to go through time and whatnot. And so they're going to hit all these different times and they have to save Hydra. And, yeah. They go back to a lot of different times, Filthy. They're going to do the 20s, the 40s, I believe the 60s, the 50s, the 60s, and the 80s is what they're supposed to be doing. So yeah, they're going to be hitting all of that. So last week I talked about Timothy Olyphant being hired onto or cast into the 2nd season of The Mandalorian. And my speculation was that he was going to be playing Grand Admiral Thrawn. I might be wrong because now there's rumors coming out that he is going to be playing Cobb Vanth from the Aftermath book series that Chuck Wendig did. And he's going to be wearing Boba Fett's armor. So the whole thing about Cobb Vanth from the Aftermath series is he is a sheriff on Tatooine, a small town sheriff, if you will. And he buys Boba Fett's armor, which Jawas have for some reason, in their store or whatever, and that's how he patrols and becomes a sheriff in his little town, is with this Mandalorian armor with Boba Fett's armor on. So he could have been the person that we saw in season 1 with the spurs jangling and whatnot. Supposedly, we are still seeing Boba Fett because, of course, Tamora was also cast as well. So we might see him without the armor and wanting his armor back. But that's how it's going to go. Yeah. Seems legit. Could be. Who knows? We'll find out. There's all kinds of rumors out there right now. I still think they're going to use it as a what's called the backdoor pilot. But so they're bringing in Ahsoka, they're bringing in Bo-Katan. Most likely they're bringing in Sabine Wren too. That's what the other rumor is, and Rex. So he actually fits the profile of looking like Thrawn. And so that is supposedly going to be the back. They're only there for one episode, Ahsoka and Bo-Katan and all of them. And who knows? You know, we won't know until we see season 2. And that's the beauty of TV, of this series anyway. They actually surprise us when they do stuff. Yeah, sarcasm, the typewritten word doesn't come through all that often. Filthy. It really doesn't. Sorry. It does in video, though. Sometimes, at least that's what I've been told. July 31st, season 2 of The Umbrella Academy returns to Netflix. That's right, July 31st, season 2 drops. Now, I'm wondering if Netflix is going to be doing what they have been doing with other series lately. I don't know if anyone has been watching some of the there's some foreign series that are on Netflix that they've been releasing an episode a week, kind of like they are testing it to see if people are actually watching and going weekly or not. And I'm wondering if Umbrella Academy might be another testing ground for that one. That would be smart on their part. Instead of just dumping it all at once, it would give them some buzz and would allow them to kind of get some subscribers to stay on. And speaking of which, too, if you're a Netflix subscriber and you haven't logged on for over a year or something like that, or you haven't looked at anything, which is kind of rare in some cases, Netflix will boot you off. They will, I think, email you first and let you know that you're in danger of being booted off. But yeah, they'll cancel your subscription. Why are they doing this? Because most people have the cheaper subscription that's going on right now. And if you get booted off and you want to come back on, you're going to be paying the higher price. So if you haven't checked into your Netflix subscription in the last year or something like that, you might want to do it. Why are you with white lines? My Coke? I don't know what you're talking about, white lines. Oh, the show Netflix White Lines. Okay. No, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know what that show is. I know what White Lines the song is, the old 80s song. White Lines. And I'm not going to sing any more than that. So, but yeah, I haven't heard of it. Filthy says I've been on quarantine for 3 months now. I've been binging Voyager. I'm sorry. I think I've told this story before. One of my former roommates is in Voyager in a couple different episodes. He's actually in the very final episode as actually in the picture, Janeway's picture. He's one of Janeway's grandkids. He tried his acting out in the 90s in Hollywood. He's also in an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer on the swim team. He's the only one that has hair on his body on the swim team. And he also plays the hands of Doogie Howser from Starship Troopers. In Starship Troopers, he is the hand double for Neil Patrick Harris. So when you see the weasel running around the keyboard, that's actually his hands. We always give him shit about stuff every now and then. So, yeah. Um, What We Do in the Shadows has been renewed for a third season at FX. Now, I just watched the first episode of season 1 fairly recently, because yeah, that's what happens. I get behind on stuff and I don't get a chance to see things. Also, I don't have cable, so you know, I have to catch up different ways, and I still have a little bit left on my Hulu subscription, so that's what I've been watching every now and then. You're Facebook friends with Manu. Uh, okay. Yeah. What did I think of What We Do in the Shadows? See, the movie I never got through. The Kiwi humor for me isn't, that great. So I kind of fell asleep in the first movie, and then I started watching the TV show, and I'm glad it's in half-hour increments because I don't know if I could do an entire hour of that, and it's okay. It's just I'm hoping that it evolves past that the interview, the documentary kind of stuff, kind of like The Office. The Office does not do it for me at all. That whole thing just does not fly with me for some reason, especially as an entire series. No, yeah, you need to change things out a little bit. Yeah, and yeah, documentaries do not, pseudo, the mockumentaries just don't do it for me. They really don't. I need things switched up a little bit. So what else we got going on here? Oh yeah. So Motherland Fort Salem has been renewed for a second season at Freeform. So if those of you don't know what this show is, it is an alternate take of America where witches were real, and they decided about 300 years ago that they were going to work with the then settlers of the New World, which then becomes the United States. And now the witches have become the army, essentially. So they use magic, they use witchcraft and all that kind of stuff in order to go out into battle. It's on Freeform, and believe it or not, it's actually pretty damn good. I've watched the entire first season. I am going to be doing on Wednesday, Is It Worth My Time? About season 1 on that one. So yes, I will be covering that. But yeah, it's gotten a season 2. Also, the woman who plays General Alder, the oldest witch and the leader of the armies, she is now a series regular. She's been hired on as a series regular because she was only coming in as a guest every now and then. So that's actually gonna be pretty good. Let's see what else we have. So Edgar Wright is heading up a production company called Complete Fiction with a couple other people, and they have 3 projects in the works right now. And I think it's going to Netflix. I don't know for sure. They didn't really say where it's going to. So one is a series, and stop me if you've heard this one before, with a supernatural detective agency um, run by kids that follow nothing but supernatural cases and whatnot. And I think it's supposed to be set in the Victorian era, if I'm not mistaken. So that is one that they have going on there. Another one is based on the books called The Murders of Molly Southbourne, which is about a woman whose blood can create clones of herself, which is nothing like Lobo's early powers in the DC universe. And the third one is based on some books called The City of Brass. I don't know what that one is, unfortunately, but that's what he's working on right now. Or I should say his production company is working on that. Yeah. I'm, you know, Edgar Wright's hit and miss with me, quite honestly. I know a lot of people really, really dig him and they're like, all about Edgar Wright and everything. I am not. He is very hit and miss with me, and is not, I have not drunk the Kool-Aid or listened to the gospel on that one. But if you are, more power to you. Let's see what else we've got here. There was actually a lot of news that was going on there. So Peter Dinklage and Jason Momoa, of course, they're both on Game of Thrones, but they are now going to be teaming up for a buddy vampire movie called Good, Bad, and Undead. That's about as much as I know on this one. Will I see it? It depends on the trailer, quite honestly. I'd have to take a look at the trailer first before I kind of decide on whether or not I want to see that. Philip Ademic says, on a lighter note, I'm glad to see Kevin Hart is at 98% recovery from his shattered spine. Oh, okay. Interesting. So that's why you should wear your damn seatbelt when you're in a car. That's all I'm going to say on that topic. But yeah, Peter Dinklage and Jason Momoa in a vampire buddy flick, which is yeah, like I said, I'll have to wait and see what the trailer looks like before I decide on that one. And speaking of what I really need to see the trailer on before I even decide on that one, S.J. Clarkson is now supposedly the director for the Madam Web movie. So you're asking, what the fuck is Madam Web? If you know anything about Marvel Comics characters and Spider-Man in particular, Marvel Comics, Spider-Man, I should say, Spider-Man had a character in there called Madam Web, who is blind and can see the future, the past. She can also show other characters this. She is linked to Spider-Man, and as a result, since Sony had bought the rights, or not bought the rights, but they have the rights to Spider-Man, they also have the rights to about 900 characters that are associated with Spider-Man, Madam Web being one of them. And so this is also a Marvel movie as well. Supposedly it's a Marvel adjacent movie, so they are going to be bringing, it's supposed to be tied into this new Marvel movie, so I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Penn. I know you're all about the Momoa and the Dinklage, so and adding vampires to it just kind of puts it in there too. Yeah. Wow. This was kind of a weird one. You know what? Actually, let me go with this other one first. So Halle Berry has been cast in Roland Emmerich's movie called Moonfall, which is about the moon falling out of orbit. There are so many books about the moon falling out of orbit, sci-fi books, I should say. Um, yeah, but Halle Berry is supposed to be playing in this one, and Roland Emmerich, king of the disaster flick, is directing this one, of course, and it should be just as bad as 2012. If you saw that movie, it was, oof, man. Even though it had John Cusack in it, wow, that was just it's disaster porn is really what it is. And I'm not talking about, porn that goes awry. I'm just talking about it's disaster porn. Yeah. Which he seems to thrive in. But there you go. And Michael Bay, speaking of disasters, Michael Bay and Adam Goodman are producing a movie called Songbird, which is supposed to be set 2 years from now, so 2022, where COVID-19 hasn't ended and has continued to mutate. Yeah. Yeah, COVID-19 has continued to mutate and everyone's still inside. And I'm thinking to myself, do you think that might be a little too soon on that one? That might just be a little too soon. It is Michael Bay after all, so there should be some slow motion scenes of sweaty people with the American flag waving in slow motion behind them, all that kind of stuff. I'm wondering if he's going to have, whatever actress that it is audition for him by washing his car in her bikini. Because that's the kind of slime ball that he is. Yes. Yeah. That's what he did with Megan Fox, by the way. For those of you who are playing at home, that's how she auditioned for Transformers. Was he had her wash his car in her bikini. I don't know if he filmed it or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. Yeah. Oh, that's all. Sometimes you just kind of shake your head and say, "Fuck this." Yeah. So, man, I just read this one for a second. I was like, "How am I going to present?" Okay, sure. So Nick Jonas and Larry Fishburne. I call him Larry. I know everyone calls him Lawrence, but you know what? Back in when he was in Cherry 2000, when he had a small little role as a lawyer, he called himself in the credits Larry, and that's what I've been calling him ever since. So Nick Jonas and Larry Fishburne will be in the movie The Blacksmith, which is based on the 2011 graphic novel. Excuse me, about a weapons expert spy, which is supposed to be Nick Jonas, and a retired weapons outfitter, which is supposed to be Larry Fishburne, that are on the run from the spy community that wants to kill them. Sounds like something that Larry's also in called John Wick. That's kind of what it sounds like as well. So, weapons expert, weapons outfitter. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted some more John Wick action. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to see that one. I probably won't. I mean, maybe when it comes direct to video, that might be it. So the last little bit of news here that I have, and this one actually looks pretty decent. Tell you the truth, is we've been hearing a lot about this. It's been coming for a while now, and it stars Charlize Theron. July 10th, The Old Guard is going to be coming out on Netflix, and it's based on a graphic novel. They released a trailer for it the end of last week, and it's about a group of soldiers. So they're like 5 soldiers, and they're bringing in a new recruit. And the thing that's different about all these soldiers is they're immortal, so they can't be killed, obviously. And the new recruit is someone else who is newly found to be immortal. Think about Highlander, if you will. And they are a unit that goes out and does special assignments and stuff like that. They also try and hide from any kind of media, so they don't want their faces plastered around because they don't want people to, of course, know that they exist. But there, of course, there is a group that knows that they exist, wants them, so they can dissect them and find out what makes them immortal, of course, and wants to sell that to the medical community and the public at large, kind of thing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That comes out, like I said, July 10th, and you can take a look at the trailer. It's up on my Facebook page, but you can also just take a look on YouTube as well and find The Old Guard there. Looks fairly interesting. So that's pretty much all I've got news wise for the week. There was a lot of stuff. I went through it a little quicker than usual than I do for a Saturday or a Sunday, and drinking a little bit too, so that helps as well. Anybody watching anything interesting at all, or um, I finished Solar Opposites. That's what I finished, and yeah, I don't know what I'm going to go into next. I'll have to take a look. I'm looking at the TV as I do that, which is off, and I don't know why I'm looking at it. But yeah, I'll scurry around through some of the sites and see what else is out there. See what else I can bring you guys, and see what else I can cover as well. Doom Patrol's coming back, of course. Um, there's a lot of shows that are going to be coming out. We've got The Mandalorian, of course, coming in October. But yeah, trying to finish Constantine on DC Universe. Oh, the original, the first season, Joker. That was actually a good season. Yeah, It's too bad they canceled that. But Matt Ryan lives on Legends of Tomorrow. Granted, it's a more comical version of John Constantine that he's playing on Legends of Tomorrow, but I still like it. I really do. And also, he's doing the voice work for the animated John Constantine as well. So that's always fun. Actually, I might delve more into the DC Universe site and try and build up some more reward points. So, yeah. Philip A. Demick says, I zombie watched the 100. It's nowhere near as good as the first 2 seasons. I just watched to see the characters. Okay. Legends of Tomorrow, supposedly the spoof episode. Oh, the one that's this week? Yeah. Yeah, he is great in the role. I agree with you, Penn. He's actually really good. I think it's kind of funny in Legends. He's always getting ready to smoke, and they come up with some way for him not to smoke, and it's become a running gag. It's part of the shtick now, which is kind of funny. The latest is that he's quit smoking, and then something bad happens. So of course he pulls out a cigarette, and just before he's going to light it, they cut the commercial. Which I think is pretty damn hilarious, to tell you the truth. So, what else do I have going on this week? Tomorrow is the season and series finale of Future Man. That's right. Future Man on Hulu, the season and series finale. Wednesday, of course, is the aforementioned Is It Worth My Time? Motherland, Fort Salem. I'm going to be talking about that, season 1. Thursday, I'm off. Friday is Harley Quinn, the ever excellent Harley Quinn. Saturday, I'm off. And then Sunday is going to be another episode of Sunday Morning Blast Off. Not Saturday, it's going to be Sunday Morning Blast Off. And then Monday, of course, is going to be Stargirl. Yeah. Joker says, so the kids are going to the powers on Stargirl. Well, they're going to be descendants of, yes, which is kind of how they did some stuff in the comics, Joker. So yeah, it's not going to be too bad. Philip A. Demick says, I gave into watching Sirens halfway through season 2, not bothering to catch up now. Yeah. I think I watched half an episode of Sirens and I was like, no, not for me. It's too teen angsty for me. Yeah. Philip A. Demick says the best shows I watch are all anime. I don't know. I've been finding stuff here and there. Then, of course, I go over on Pluto TV, and there's Tokusatsu, which is all the basically the kaiju, the old series like Ultraman Leo and Kamen Rider and all that kind of stuff that has the giant monsters, and every episode's pretty much the same. It's just they change out whatever monster they're fighting, that kind of stuff. Pen Farm Girl says, Sirens went way too threesomes for my taste. Well, see, now you got me intrigued. No, not that intrigued. I can't do it. There's just no way I could actually do that. That show is off limits for me. So, I should probably let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everybody who joined me tonight in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. And if you're still on the fence about subscribing, remember, take a look at the video that pops up here at the very end. If you like it, then like, share, and subscribe down here as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you hit the bell down below here. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at my weekly schedule that I post up there. And then also all my links to my social media are on there too. So Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon. No tier set up as of yet on the Patreon yet because I'm a lazy bastard. And also, I just want to give you guys stuff if I'm going to, be collecting money from you. So, and also I want to hit 1,000 subscribers before I actually do that. I don't know. It's just in my own noggin there for that. Yeah. So I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for the end of Future Man. The end of the Future Man. Thanks, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that the job you signed up for is too tough and you have to quit right after the first season because, you have to work and stuff. Thanks, everybody. I will see you tomorrow and have a good night. Stay safe. Good night.